Alright, so we're up at this antique heater again. Still kicking my butt. I found a new universal thermocoupler that was able to go in. I could not find a replacement pilot, but I was able just to blow it out with an air compressor. And if you see that flame in there, let me shut off the light. You can see we clearly got the pilot working. So that's a big plus. And I bypassed the building's electrical because, well, until I get the roof fixed, I don't want to put in a breaker box yet. So we're still running off of the adjacent unit's breaker box. So we're running this whole place off a 15 amp breaker right now. But so I'm just gonna, I stole this cable from the lights that used to be installed. Not quite adequate enough for this, but it's just a little blower motor that we need to power. Sorry I'm stuttering, but it's freezing in here. So now I just got to mount the thermostat. Luckily, they were nice enough just to wrap the wire up and stash it into the ceiling. Like I said, this is why I had to bypass the wiring, because that's a mess. Need to simplify all that and get rid of all the rat's nest up there. But we're going to mount a thermostat, plug it in, and see if this baby rips, because I ain't gonna keep working in 30-degree temperatures. This freaking thing's too loud. So we got the thermostat installed. We got it over here, which according to this, it's 47 degrees. That's bull. That might only go down to 47 degrees. So we got it plugged in, got the gas on, got the noisy torpedo off. So hopefully this doesn't blow a breaker. Well, that'd be the best case scenario. Hopefully it doesn't burn the place down. Heat on. We'll set it to 60 because Oh. And it's off. Is it on? I heard it fire. Oh, I hear it heating up. So that, it's belt driven, that's how old this is. So that thing probably hasn't turned in 30 years, or 40 years actually. It's gonna smell like ass because this thing is covered in dust. Oh, it's popping, it's crackling. You can hear it heating up. I said I used to run a bunch of really good looking ductwork there and there, but at some point they retrofitted some stupid unit in and they tied into the cross section from this I think this is hooked up to a central air unit on the other side. But these old school commercial units, actually the fan is controlled by a thermostat switch right in that box. So it waits till the plinium is up to temperature and then it'll kick on the relay, which is controlled by a 24 volt transformer right there, which is controlled, which will open up the valve. And as long as the thermocoupler is sensing heat and providing, I think it's 55 millivolts to the valve, it'll keep letting, it'll keep letting gas flow through. I want to climb up there and look, but I don't want to be my face anywhere near that because that's the only place I can get the ladder. But if it's actually running, it's quiet until that fan kicks on. Oh. Oh, it's quiet. A little squeaky. I am going to get some lube to lube that up. But there's warm air coming out of there. They got it blocked. They got it blocked. Damn it. You're going to face full of shit. That's nice. Lovely. I actually seen charcoal coming out of there.
I know.
Probably should have just shut it off.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But I think I'm worried about shutting off that quick, not lighting it. But that's kind of cool how they put the block.
So we unblocked it, which had this thing in front of it. I could see the flames in there through the pilot light hole. I mean, the roof's made out of steel. I'm hoping the chimney's not blocked on the top.
I should go try looking on top of the building.
I could see it from the road. It's there.
See if there's stuff coming out the chimney.
Well, we're going to see if we can see stuff coming out, but I have my doubts. So you can see it right there. So it doesn't look like they even tried to block it, so. So it's natural gas, so it's not going to smell. Well, when it's burning, it smells like crap without it. Oh, he's going to blow crap at me. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Breathe it deep. What, is it all full? Should I shut it off?
No, I ain't got that much.
So this is, you can actually see that this thing looks like it was actually covered pretty good with the, with, you can see it up there, the cellulose insulation they had blown, the blown insulation. So I'm probably going to rebuild the ductwork and hook it back up into this. Because we're going to put the lifts back here, so I don't really need the overhead up here just yet. But let's look at this temperature over here. A little over freezing. About 37. But so glad we don't have to run this anymore. And we're down to 40 over here, so that's about right. All right. We're gonna let this run for a little bit. Make sure the place doesn't start on fire. The next day, it is another day of, it's a thaw day as they would call it around here. It's above freezing, which by that I mean it's 33 degrees outside. So the roofs are starting to melt, which it's pretty much raining in here. This roof is terrible. Just all the snow's melting off the top, so it's coming down like a river. I mean, it is bad. This area is so gross. So this mezzanine really, this whole mezzanine really needs to come off, but it's got a thin layer of insulation, and now it's a thin layer of wet, gross insulation. But good news, the heater's running. We got this running last night. Had it up to 44 degrees before we called it quits, because the roof area was like 70, and I really needed to hook the vents back up, which I just kind of, you see, just used some stuff laying around and some ducking tape, the foil tape, which works really well, and just hooked it up to the original ductwork, and that helped tenfold. So when we came in here this morning, it was about 30 degrees, and we've had it running for about an hour, and we're already up almost to 50. Well, 45 over here. But when it's only 30 degrees outside and you got 15 degrees higher inside, just keeping places above freezing makes it to where you can actually work. And we're still running our winter clothes because it's winter, which, you know, 3 layers. And you don't want to take that off every time, so there's no point in keeping the shop that much hotter because you'll just be miserable because we're in and out, in and out. But I said, just hook it up that ductwork. And I just can't believe how quiet this thing is. That belt's got a little tick to it because you can tell there's like a flat spot in it, so I need to find a new belt for that. But other than that, like up front here, it's actually 50 degrees. But there actually isn't any ducts pointing in here because I blocked that part off. You could tell with this ducking, which matches that ductwork, that they were using this heater to heat this whole facility at one time. You can see how that goes through the brick. And that's a lot. There's a lot of building here with that, and you can tell this was put in before they put the drop ceiling in, so... Well, you know what? It might have been going through the drop ceiling. Yeah, it probably was. Right? Because I still haven't figured out how I'm going to insulate any of that.
I don't feel like the building was ever all one building.
No, it always had that brick wall over there, but you can see that the ductwork goes through the brick wall.
So I don't, maybe when they had it separated, they just had one heater and the landlord paid the bill for everybody?
Maybe.
Kept it at a certain temperature?
Who knows? Don't know. I haven't found anybody that used to work here, so... I found somebody who used to work at, when it was just the thing on the end, gas station. The guy's like 90. He doesn't quite recall a lot of stuff. But he doesn't know when any of the mezzanine or the extra bathrooms were put in, so he's not a great source of information. But I got the thermostat set to 50. I'm waiting for it to shut off. It's probably going to let it get up to 52, and then it's going to shut it off and turn it back on at 50, which gives it a nice swing for that to cool off, because even though it's a Dayton commercial unit, so I think these are designed to run 100% duty cycle, but you can see the bottom starting to discolor. But it was always discolored. So I'm thinking that's designed to take quite a bit of heat. But it actually feels like this is actually blowing colder air. Yeah, this is blowing colder air right now, so that means the burner's off, and it's probably getting ready to shut the fan off. Let's see if this thing actually says heat off. Yeah, the heater off thing is not lit, so it's actually winding down, because like I said, on these units, the fan is ran off a thermostat switch separate of the gas meter, just because they kept these things as simple as they possibly could. So in there is probably an adjustment, so I can actually adjust it for the fan swing. Because you don't want these things to cycle, that's what kills them. Oh, good timing. And then it's quiet. Now you can really hear the drips. So we'll see how long this thing takes to click back on. But neat that a unit that hasn't been used in 30 years works like it should.
Like it never shut off.
Like it never shut off. Focus.
That's how deep the snow is.
Nice, but it's winter, so that would be normal. So we got the animal on the roof right now, because we're running out of time to be out here before we have to go back to California for a bit. But we like to get an idea what the roofing is to figure out what materials we need to buy.
How much money we need to collect.
How much money we need to collect to fix it. You can see the plants growing up there, right there. Because we were hoping, you know, my idea with the cranking the heater up for a while and hoping the stuff melts was kind of working. But the snow is thicker than we just got sick of waiting. And we didn't have a ladder to get up there. We had to finally break down and buy a 24-foot ladder. But this is the worst part of the roof, and he's discovering that it's actually the tar that they had on it actually peeled up from the wind and is just folded over. And now we're learning that it's the metal roof and all they did was just throw plywood on top with they made a framework on the edges that sits on top of the cement and butts up against the steel, and then they put the plywood across that and tarred and graveled the rest, which I'm surprised they actually do tar and gravel here. I thought that was a West Coast thing.
It's a flat roof thing.
I figured it was just going to be black tar.
Birds. See that?
Yep. So the edge of almost the whole edge is because the plywood is rotting. It's created a pretty good. It's more birds. Even more birds. Huh. There's probably a gap up in there that they made a nest in. We're not going to disturb them. Well, we're disturbing them, but we're not going to destroy the nest. We're just making too much noise for them. But it's supposed to keep over 40 degrees the rest of the week, so I'm thinking by Sunday, the snow should be gone off the roof. But we're going to do some square foot measurements and figure out the plywood. I know. I'm going to do some research and figure out what we can do the cheapest way possible. Got a couple roofers involved, but they're telling me the budget I'm setting for them is insane, so it's going to be a lot of doing it ourselves. Because he needs to get off the roof, because it's cold, and we lost the sun. And it is very foggy out here. So after a full day of messing around, for once, not in the main shop because, you know, I got the heater running. Oh, just clicked on. Got it set for 55, and it's actually holding the building at 55, which is great. It's nice and comfortable in here with all of our work clothes on. But yesterday we sweeped all the snow off the roof, and the sun did come out today for a little bit. So for once the building isn't dripping anymore. But we started working on the other building. The one that's been boarded up. And look, you could actually drive a car through here. So there, workshop. But this was that nasty side of the building, the one that was pretty sealed off for since 2020, because that's what that cross on the corner says, because there was somebody that was in a pretty bad car accident and they ended up with the car in the building. But they put that up as a memorial. And all they did was board this up because this building was not in use, which we finally tore out the remains of that. Here's the door. Luckily, they didn't do a very good job of installing it. And like I said, when we were up in the rafters finishing off this gas line, I noticed that the headers were still here from the roll-up doors. And we ripped some of the drywall out over here. And you can see the header is still in place. They actually installed some windows right there, and all they did was put cement block up. So I'm guessing we could knock that out, lickety-split. You could see that they actually put the step there, so we could run a beam all the way across and have this one big opening, but I like the idea of these 10-foot single openings. So you don't let all the air out and for security. So we will bust this cinder block down and put another door there and put a door here. We got to get rid of this fascia, which, as I thought, is held on by the all thread. But you can see that by the curvature that this is actually a finished wall underneath all this crap. So we'll be able to tear that down and maybe just repaint the building. But on this back corner, so there used to be a window there and a window there, and this breaker box, which does not have a meter anymore, we'll just get rid of all that. So this roof isn't great, but those are 2x12s on a steel beam, so that's super easy to repair. But what we found out over here was, if you look, you can see this is level with here, and there's a step, which means this slab's been raised. So I was noticing when I was looking at this door opening, I don't actually clear it. I clear it on the other side. So because the ground on this side's been raised 6 inches, I don't just get to knock this wall out. I actually have to raise the header. So might be a good reason just to knock a good chunk of this wall out and just make it a doorway so we can actually drive through. And now I haven't showed this area, but this is the area this is the only working breaker box, which is what we're tied into the rest of the building. And this side has a nice 150 amp service. So we're just going to put a couple sub boxes in at like 50 amps or something, and that still gives us 50 amps to play with in this side. And this is a house. For all intents and purposes, a house. There's a fireplace, and if you look, you can still see the finished subceiling, and when you're on the roof, there's not a slope here, so that's weird. Got to look into that. But up until about 10 years ago, actually further than that, because the stuff sitting on the counter still says holiday 2010. So this place was still in business as of probably 2009. Stuff still in the display cabinets. I mean, brand new lighters that still work. Please turn off. What the hell? All right, that's safe. So we're going to package all this stuff up and start cleaning this area up to use as an office / lobby, because it's actually a pretty nice area. It's not too rough yet. Still got one light working anyway. And we're going to make this into an office lobby to hang out, be cool, be comfortable. And this place has its own bathroom that still needs to be completely renovated, obviously. And all this is non-structural. It's really weird how it's installed. They got just support beams running every which way. Like I said, pretty happy with how this side turned out. Again, not going to do nothing much more other than clean, clean, clean. We literally just have the dumpster backed right up to empty this place. But the plumbing's still shared over here. It doesn't really look like they ever connected the plumbing to this side of the building, which is weird. And like I said, we'll open this wall up, we'll open this wall, put a door. I got to do some measurements here. And see if I could track down a couple used garage door panels. I'd love to just put a nice roll-up door in it, but those are not available much use. So other than the snow finally melting, it's still about 39, 40 degrees outside. Never really showed the front side of the building. Like I said, it's got quite the nice street presence. That street is very busy. This street is a dead end. So it'd be really cool to put like car meets and car shows here. Everybody around here is super nice. There's just a construction company on the corner. There's a transmission rebuild shop over there. The only people that might have a problem with us is the cat sanctuary. It's a cat shelter and everybody there volunteers, so I think if we're cool with them, they'll be cool with us. Maybe give them a heads up whenever we're doing something. But other than that, still got a bunch of cleaning to do. We got to head back to California for a little bit. So next time I come out, we're going to rip all this fascia off and start working on the roof. We got some measurements of that, got some ideas, just got to collect material, got to get some funds together. Because the funds we already had for this went to pretty much dumpsters. I know this has taken a huge chunk of the channel up because I kind of established that we do car stuff, but after the whole Hot Rod Power Tour debacle, I've just been reevaluating what we're doing. Again, still want to do the California stuff, but it seems like it's just easier to do it out here. So we're still trying to make that transition one way or the other, maybe try to do a half-life in each. I'm doing this video before I actually posted the first video, so that video gets put up tonight as of me recording this, so I'm hoping to see what that video does to see what I do with this. So if you're seeing this video, it means it did good or well or good enough. As long as it doesn't do bad, I'm going to post this. Appreciate everybody who follows, who comments. I keep hoping that we get a little bit more involved in an actual car project, but once you start working on those, it snowballs again. We're trying to get sustainability. So I'm trying to get a permanent thing, or at least an idea of a permanent workshop that, unlike the California stuff, which always seems like at any moment in time, the insurance laws change, the land gets sold, because every day in California, the land just keeps skyrocketing in value. This place we might have a chance of in the future acquiring. But even then, there's still plenty of property around here, so if this ever falls through, we can just move to a new piece of property and just build another building. Had to switch to the phone because the camcorder died. Since I haven't got this building set up with electrical yet, it's hard to keep everything charged, and the temperature makes it really hard to even talk. I stutter way more. I'm lost for words a lot more, mostly because I'm just cold. It's really different from the desert to here for obvious reasons. The phone doesn't do very well in dark locations, and the camcorder eats batteries, so. And the best voice recording I have is on the camera, on the phone. I'm gonna end it right here. I talk too much in these videos. I'm trying to actually make them shorter. I want more action. It's gonna get there, so please stay tuned. There'll be more of this. But there's what we got going on in California. I'm going to try to make some stuff on, which is going to be pretty interesting. So I guess I'll see you guys. Well, you'll probably see me doing a road trip back to Cali. The road trip videos are getting kind of old, so I'm just going to probably just throw up a short for that. I don't know. So see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoy. Bye.